The letter arrived on a Tuesday. Black envelope, gold seal, no return address. Noelle Sinclair almost threw it away, but something made her stop. Something made her open it. Inside, a single card, handwritten in perfect calligraphy. Miss Sinclair, you are summoned to Seoul, Korea. Your grandmother's debt must be paid. $30 million. You have two options. Pay in full. Or marry one of my 5 sons. You have 72 hours to arrive. After that, I collect the debt by other means. Sincerely, Madame O. Suyon. Noelle read it 3 times. Her grandmother, a debt, $30 million. Her grandmother had been dead for 6 months. Sweet old woman, baked cookies, told stories. Never mentioned she owed a Korean crime family. Enough money to buy a small island. Noelle was a documentary filmmaker, independent, struggling. Her bank account was frozen-ended, struggling. Her bank account had exactly $412. She couldn't pay, she couldn't run, she couldn't hide. So she did the only thing she could. She got on a plane. 71 hours later, she was in Seoul, standing in front of a mansion that looked like it belonged in a nightmare. Black iron gates, stone walls covered in thorns, security cameras everywhere. And waiting at the entrance, a woman who looked like death itself. Oh, Suyon, late 60s, silver hair pulled tight, face like carved marble, eyes that had seen and ordered terrible things. Miss Sinclair, she said. Her English was perfect, cold. You're punctual, good. I was given 72 hours, I used 71. And the extra hour? I needed coffee. The old woman's eye twitched, almost a smile, almost. Follow me. They walked through the mansion, dark hallways, ancient art, servants who bowed and vanished. Finally, a room, large, cold, 5 chairs arranged in a semicircle, and in those chairs, 5 men. Noelle stopped. She stared. The O brothers. They were all different, all dangerous, all watching her like prey. Sit, Madame O commanded. She gestured to a single chair facing the brothers. Noelle sat. She crossed her legs. She refused to look intimidated. Your grandmother borrowed money from my late husband, Madame O said, 40 years ago, for a business that failed. She never repaid. Interest accumulated. Now, the debt is yours. I don't have $30 million. I know. Then why am I here? Madame O smiled. It was terrifying. I have 5 sons. 5 brilliant, dangerous, unmarried sons. Each one is destined for greatness. But none of them has a wife. This is unacceptable. She walked behind her sons, her hand touching each shoulder as she passed. I've tried everything. Arranged marriages, matchmakers, threats. Nothing works. They're too stubborn, too wild, too broken. But then I thought of you. She stopped behind the 5th chair, the one at the end, the one Noelle couldn't quite see clearly. A woman desperate enough to fly across the world, strong enough to stand in this room without trembling. Perhaps what my sons need is not a Korean bride. Perhaps they need someone like you. So what? I just pick one? Exactly. And the debt is erased? Completely. What's the catch? Madame O laughed, low, dangerous. The catch, Miss Sinclair, is that you have 24 hours to decide. And once you choose, there's no going back. You marry him. You stay with him. Forever. Or, she drew a finger across her throat, I collect the debt. Another way. Noelle's stomach dropped. But her face stayed stone. I want to meet them, all 5. Of course, that's why they're here. She clapped her hands. Boys, introduce yourselves. The first brother stood. Oh, Young-ho, the eldest, tall, broad, face like a statue. I run the family's legitimate businesses, he said. Construction, real estate, hotels. I work 16 hours a day. I have no time for romance. But if Mother insists, I'll do my duty. Cold, practical. A man who saw marriage as paperwork. Next, Oh Min-jun, second son, leaner, sharper, a scar running from his eye to his jaw. I handle the family's other businesses, he said, the ones that don't appear on tax returns. If you choose me, you'll never be in danger, because everyone will be too afraid to touch you. A criminal, a protector, but protection through fear wasn't love. Third, Oh Seo-jun, the middle child, softer, artist's hands, gentle eyes. I paint, he said quietly. I have no interest in the family business. I just want peace. If you choose me, I'll give you kindness. But I can't promise passion. Kind, but empty. A man hiding from his own family. Fourth, Oh Dae-hyun, youngest, almost, cocky grin, eyes full of mischief. I'm the fun one, he said. Racing, gambling, up parties. Choose me and you'll never be bored. But I'll probably forget your birthday. And your name. And that we're married. A child in a man's body. Entertainment, but no substance. And then, the fifth chair. Noelle had been avoiding it. Something about it made her uneasy. The man in it hadn't moved, hadn't spoken, hadn't even looked at her. He sat in shadow, still as stone, like he wasn't even there. And this one? Noelle asked. The room went cold. Even the brothers shifted uncomfortably. That, Madame O said slowly, is O Kang-dae. My fifth son. She paused. Something in her voice changed. Pain? Fear? He is not an option. Why not? Because he cannot love. He cannot feel anything. He has been empty for a very long time. Noelle studied the shadow, the figure within it. What happened to him? Silence, long, heavy. That is not your concern, Madame O said finally. Choose from the other four. You have until midnight tomorrow. She turned and walked toward the door. Rooms have been prepared. Rest, think, choose wisely. The brothers began to stand, to disperse. But Noelle didn't move. Her eyes were fixed on the fifth chair, on Oh Kang-dae. I want to meet him, she said. Everyone froze. Excuse me? The fifth son. I want to meet him properly. Miss Sinclair, you said I have 24 hours to choose. That means I get to consider all options, including him. Madame O's face tightened. He doesn't speak. Then I'll speak for both of us. He won't respond. Then I'll respond for both of us. He might hurt you. I've been hurt before. Silence. The other brothers exchanged glances. Jung-ho looked irritated. Min-jun looked amused. Seo-jun looked worried. Dae-hyun looked excited. And in the fifth chair, for the first time, movement. A head turned, slowly, and Noelle saw his face. Oh, Kang-dae. Beautiful, devastatingly beautiful. Sharp jawline, high cheekbones, perfect skin. But his eyes were wrong, empty, hollow, like windows into a house where no one lived. He looked at her, through her, past her, and he said nothing. See, Madame O said, there's nothing there. Choose someone else. But Noelle couldn't look away. Those eyes, that emptiness, she had seen it before, in herself, after her parents died, after she spent 3 years in foster care, after she learned that surviving meant not feeling. She knew that emptiness. She had lived that emptiness. I want to spend time with him, she said, before I decide. That's non-negotiable. Madame O's eyes narrowed. This American woman, this nobody, making demands in her house. Ah, but there was something in Noelle's voice. Steel, unbreakable steel. Fine, the old woman said. 1 hour, tonight. But don't say I didn't warn you. She swept out of the room. The brothers followed, all except one. Oh, Kang-dae remained in his chair, unmoving, unblinking, and Noelle remained in hers, watching him, waiting. The silence stretched. 1 minute, 2, 5. Finally, he spoke. His voice was rough, unused, like gravel scraping against glass. Why? One word, but it carried weight. Why what? Why me? Your brothers are all options, but none of them interest me. I don't interest anyone. Then we have something in common. He turned his head slightly, looking at her more directly. You're strange. Thank you. It wasn't a compliment. I'm taking it as one. Another silence, but different this time. Less heavy, almost curious. Your mother says you can't love. She's right. Do you believe that? I don't believe anything. I don't feel anything. Since when? His jaw tightened. Since always. Liar. His eyes snapped to hers. For a moment, just a moment, there was something. A flicker, a spark. Then it was gone. You don't know me. Not yet. You never will. We'll see. She stood. She walked toward him, slowly, deliberately. He didn't move, didn't retreat, didn't react. She stopped 3 feet away, close enough to see every detail, the sharp lines of his face, the darkness in his eyes, the tension in his jaw. I'm going to choose you, she said. You'd be making a mistake. Maybe. I'll make your life hell. Probably. I won't love you. I can't love you. We'll see about that, too. She reached out. Slowly, her fingers brushed his cheek. He flinched, actually flinched, like her touch burned. When was the last time someone touched you? He didn't answer, but his breathing changed, just slightly. That's what I thought. She pulled her hand back. She turned. She walked toward the door. What are you? He asked. His voice was barely a whisper. She looked over her shoulder. I'm Noelle, and I'm about to be your wife. Get used to it. She walked out, and for the first time in 5 years. Oh, Kang-dae felt something. He didn't know what it was, but it terrified him. That night, Noelle met with each brother individually. Young-ho offered her power. Marry me, and you'll never want for anything. I don't want things. I want connection. Connection is inefficient. Then we're done here. Min-jun offered her protection. No one will ever hurt you. And what about hurting me? What about you? I do what's necessary. Including hurting your wife? He didn't answer. She left. Seo-jun offered her peace. I just want to paint. To be left alone. And where would I fit in that? I don't know. That's the problem. Dae-hyun offered her fun. We could travel the world, race cars, party until dawn. And when the party ends, who says it has to end? Life does. Life always ends parties. He shrugged. She sighed. 4 brothers, 4 proposals, 4 disappointments. None of them saw her, really saw her. They saw the debt, the obligation, the American woman they could acquire. But they didn't see Noelle. Only one person had looked at her and seen something. The one they said couldn't feel. The one they warned her about. The ghost. At 11 p.m., she went to find him. He was in the garden, alone, sitting on a stone bench, staring at the moon. She sat beside him. He didn't acknowledge her. Your brothers are boring. Nothing. Jung-ho thinks I'm a business deal. Nothing. Min-jun thinks I'm a witness protection case. Nothing. Seo-jun wants a roommate, not a wife. Nothing. And Dae-hyun, she laughed. Dae-hyun wants a drinking buddy. Still nothing. But you're different. I'm broken. Maybe, but at least you're honest about it. Honesty doesn't make me a good husband. Neither does lying. He finally looked at her. Those empty eyes. But were they less empty now? Why do you keep coming back to me? I don't know. Liar. Fine, I know. She turned to face him fully. Because I recognize you. You don't know me. I know pain. I know what it looks like when someone's given up. I know the emptiness that comes after trauma. I've lived it. His jaw tightened. You don't know what I've been through. Then tell me. No. Why not? Because you'll run. Try me. Silence. Long. Heavy. Then he spoke. I killed someone. Noelle didn't move, didn't gasp, didn't run. Who? My fiancé. Now, a small reaction, a widening of eyes. But she stayed. How? I didn't, not directly? Then what happened? He looked away, back at the moon. His voice went flat, mechanical, like he was reading from a script he'd memorized. Her name was Soo-min. We were engaged. I loved her. She was the only person who ever made me feel human. But my family, my mother, didn't approve. Soo-min came from nothing. No money, no connections. My mother thought she was using me. His hands clenched. She tried to break us up. Threats, bribes, everything. But Soo-min wouldn't leave. So my mother took other measures. What measures? She had people follow Soo-min, investigate her. And they found something from her past. Something she'd hidden from me. What was it? It doesn't matter now. What matters is that I believed my mother. I believed the lies she told. I confronted Soo-min, accused her, said terrible things. And his voice cracked, just slightly. She walked into the river that night. And I never saw her till now. Silence, crushing silence. I killed her, maybe not with my hands, but with my words, my doubt, my weakness. I let my mother poison me against her. That's why you can't feel? I don't deserve to feel. I don't deserve happiness or love or... He gestured at Noelle. Or whatever this is. Noelle sat with his words. Let them sink in. Let herself understand. Your mother manipulated you. That doesn't excuse... No, listen. She moved closer. Her hand found his. He tried to pull away. She held on. You were young. You trusted your family. Your mother used that trust to destroy the woman you loved. But I believed her, because that's what children do. They believe their parents, even when the parents are monsters. His breathing was ragged now. Tears he wouldn't let fall, pain he wouldn't let out. You are innocent of this case. Your mother did, and you've been punishing yourself for her crime. For 5 years. Don't you think that's long enough? It will never be long enough. Says who? The guilt that's eating you alive? That guilt is a liar, Kang-dae. It tells you that suffering is justice. But it's not. It's just more pain. And pain doesn't bring anyone back. His head dropped. His shoulders shook. And then, something Noelle didn't expect. A sound, broken, quiet. A sob. Oh, Kang-dae was crying for the first time in 5 years. Noelle pulled him close, held him against her shoulder, let him break. I've got you, she whispered. I'm not going anywhere. Let it out. All of it. I've got you. They stayed like that, in the garden, under the moon, 2 broken people, finding something whole, together. The next morning, Noelle stood before Madame O. The old woman was behind her desk, the 4 brothers lined up beside her, waiting. Have you made your decision? I have. Which of my sons will you marry? Noelle took a breath. Kang-dae. Silence. Then chaos. Impossible, Madam O snapped. I told you he's not an option. And I told you I want all options. He can't love you. Maybe not yet. He'll destroy you. Or maybe I'll save him. The brothers were murmuring, shocked, confused. Only Jung-ho spoke. You're making a mistake. Maybe, but it's my mistake to make. He hasn't been functional in years. Then I'll function for both of us. Madam O stood. Her face was twisted, angry, but also something else. You don't understand what you're asking for. I understand exactly. Your son is drowning in guilt for a crime he didn't cause. A crime you caused. The room went silent, deadly silent. What did you say? You heard me. Noelle stepped forward. No fear, all steel. You manipulated him into doubting Sumin. You drove that girl to her death. And then you let your son blame himself. For 5 years. You're not a mother. You're a monster. Madam O's face went white, then red, then nothing. Blank, controlled. You have no proof. I don't need proof. I see the truth in your son's eyes. In his pain, his guilt, his emptiness. That's your handwork. And I'm going to undo it. She turned to the brothers. Your mother is poison. She destroys everything she touches. I'm going to marry your brother. I'm going to help him heal. And none of you are going to stop me. Jung-ho stepped forward. And if we try? Noelle smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. I'm a documentary filmmaker. I investigate, I expose, I destroy. I've taken down corrupt politicians, criminal corporations. A Korean crime family would be interesting. Do you really want me as an enemy? Silence. Jung-ho backed down. The other brothers said nothing. And Madam O sat down slowly. You're brave, Miss Sinclair. She was quiet for a long moment. Then, unexpectedly, she laughed. I think I might actually like you. I don't care if you like me. I care if you'll leave us alone. And if I do, if I let you marry him, then the debt is cleared. And Kang-dae gets a chance to heal. And you get a daughter-in-law who will never let you hurt him again. Madam O studied her. Long, hard. You really think you can fix him? I think he can fix himself. I'm just going to stand beside him while he does. Another long pause. Fine. That single word. Everything changed. You'll marry Kang-dae. The debt is forgiven. But Miss Sinclair. She leaned forward, her eyes like ice. If you hurt him, if you fail him, if you make things worse, I will destroy you. Not your career, not your reputation. You. Do we understand each other? Noelle met her gaze. Perfectly. The wedding was 3 days later. Small, private, only family management. His face was different, still guarded, still empty, but there was something beneath it now, something watching, waiting. When Noelle reached him, he spoke quietly. You can still run. So can you. I have nowhere to go. Neither do I. She took his hand. He flinched, but he didn't pull away. Then I guess we're stuck together. I guess we are. 2 strangers, becoming partners, not from love, not from choice, but from circumstance. And yet, when Noelle looked at Kang-dae, she felt something, possibility, hope, the faintest whisper of belonging. They went to their new home, a traditional Korean house, away from the main mansion, away from Madam O, away from the brothers, just the 2 of them. Kang-dae stood in the doorway, looking lost. I don't know how to do this, he said. Do what? Be a husband. Be anything. Neither do I. But we'll figure it out. She walked past him into the house. First things first. What? Food, I'm starving. I was too nervous to eat. He almost smiled. Almost. They ordered fried chicken. They sat on the floor. They ate in silence. But it wasn't awkward silence. It was comfortable. Two people who didn't need to fill every moment with words. Thank you, he said finally. For what? For choosing me. I told you. I don't make easy choices. Still, no one has chosen me in a very long time. Then everyone else is stupid. He looked at her. Really looked. You're strange, Noelle Sinclair. You keep saying that. Because I keep meaning it. She laughed. And for a moment, just a moment, the emptiness in his eyes flickered. The first month was difficult. Kang-dae was not an easy man. He didn't sleep at night. He barely ate. He spent hours staring at nothing. But Noelle didn't push. She didn't demand. She just stayed. She cooked meals he barely touched. She talked about her day even when he didn't respond. She sat beside him during his silent hours. Present, patient, persistent. Slowly, things began to change. One morning, he joined her for breakfast, actually sat at the table, actually ate. This is good, he said. It's just eggs. Still good. Tiny victory, but victory nonetheless. 2 weeks later, he laughed. Noelle had been telling a story about her worst documentary, a film about competitive cheese sculpting that had gone horribly wrong. And Kang-dae laughed, short, rusty, but real. Noelle stopped mid-sentence, stared at him. What? He asked. You laughed. Did I? You did. I don't remember the last time I did that. Then we should celebrate. How? More fried chicken. He almost laughed again. Almost progress. 3 months in. Wait, he touched her. Not accidentally, not in passing, deliberately. They were sitting on the porch, watching the sunset. Noelle was talking about her parents, about losing them when she was 12, about the foster homes that followed, about learning to survive alone. When she finished, silence. Then, his hand covered hers. Warm, tentative. She looked down at their hands, then up at him. I'm sorry, he said. For what? For what you went through. It was a long time ago. Pain doesn't care about time. She turned her hand over, interlaced her fingers with his. No, she said softly. It doesn't. They sat like that until the stars came out. Not speaking, not needing to, just together. 6 months in, Kang-dae confronted his mother. Noelle went with him, not to fight his battles, but to stand beside him while he fought his own. Madame O sat behind her desk, cold as ever. What do you want? She asked. The truth. About what? About Sumin. The old woman's expression didn't change, but her eyes flickered. What about her? Don't be dramatic. Did you drive her to her death? She made her own choices. After you destroyed everything she had. Kang-dae's voice was steady, stronger than Noelle had ever heard it. I know what you did, Mother. The investigation, the lies, the manipulation. You made me believe she was using me. You made me turn against her. And then she walked into that river. His voice cracked, but he kept going. For 5 years. I've blamed myself. 5 years of punishment for your crime. But I'm done. I'm done carrying your guilt. It belongs to you. Madame O stood slowly. Her face was unreadable. You think you know everything. I know enough. You know nothing. Sumin was not innocent. I don't care. She was working for our rivals. I don't care. She was sent to destroy this family. And I don't care. Kang-dae's voice echoed. Even if everything you say is true, you should have told me the truth. Let me decide. Instead, you chose manipulation, deception. You treated me like a tool, not a son. And Sumin died because of it. He took Noelle's hand, drew strength from her. I loved her mother, whatever she was, whoever she was working for. I loved her. And you took that from me. You broke something inside me that I thought could never be fixed. He squeezed Noelle's hand. But I was wrong. I can be fixed. Not by you, not by guilt. By her. He pulled Noelle forward, made his mother look at them both. This woman walked into darkness to find me. She saw the broken pieces and decided to stay. She's teaching me how to feel again. How to live again. And I won't let you poison this too. Madame O stared at them. Something shifted in her face. Not warmth, but recognition. You've changed, she said to Kang-dae. Because of her. No, because of me. She just showed me I was worth saving. I did the work myself. He straightened, taller than Noelle had ever seen him. I'm leaving this family, Mother. Not physically, but mentally. You don't control me anymore. Your guilt doesn't control me anymore. I'm free. He turned. He walked toward the door, Noelle beside him. Kang-dae, he stopped, but didn't turn around. I never meant to. I only wanted to protect this family. And you destroyed your son in the process. That's not protection. That's abuse. He walked out. Noelle followed. And Madame O was left alone, in her cold office, with her cold heart, finally understanding what she had lost. They were in the garden, their garden, the place where he had first cried in her arms. The first time we meet, I was a ghost, a shell, a man with nothing inside. But you saw something. You stayed when everyone else left. You held me when I couldn't hold myself. You fought for me when I couldn't fight. His voice was steady, strong, healed. I'm not empty anymore. Because you filled me. With patience, with presence, with... He paused. With love. Noelle Sinclair, I love you. More than I ever thought I could love anyone. More than I ever thought I deserved to love. Noelle was crying, happy tears, healing tears. He pulled her into his arms, and oh, Kang-dae, the man who couldn't love, loved, deeply, completely, fiercely, small, the one who had secretly hoped for Kang-dae's happiness all along. They exchanged vows at sunrise, in their garden, with the moon still visible, and the sun just breaking through. I vow to stay, Noelle said. In darkness and light. In emptiness and fullness. I vow to see you, really see you, always. I vow to feel, Kang-dae said, even when it hurts, even when it's easier to hide. I vow to love you, openly, honestly, completely, for as long as I breathe. They held each other. As the sun rose, as the night ended, two broken people, made whole, together. That evening, Noelle made a decision. I want to make a documentary, she said. About what? About US. Kang-dae looked at her, surprised, but not resistant. Why? Because our story matters. Because there are other people out there, drowning in guilt, or trapped in emptiness. They need to know that healing is possible, that love can find you, even in the darkest places. He considered this. It would mean exposing everything. Yes, my pain, my past, my mother, all of it. Are you okay with that? She took his hands. I'm okay with whatever you're okay with. This is your story. I just get to tell it. He was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded. Tell it. All of it. Let the world see. Let them know that ghosts can come back to life. That empty men can learn to love. That broken people can find each other. Noelle smiled. That's exactly what I'll do. The documentary took 2 years to make. Interviews, footage, Noelle and Kang-dae's story, laid bare for the world. It premiered at a film festival in Seoul, then internationally, then everywhere. People watched, people cried, people learned. About trauma, about healing, about love that doesn't give up. The film won awards, changed conversations, reached millions. And through it all, Noelle and Kang-dae stood together. Not as symbols, but as partners, living proof of their own message. 5 years after they first met, 5 years after Noelle received that black envelope, they stood on a stage in New York, accepting another award. Kang-dae held the trophy. Noelle held his hand. This film started as a story about one broken man, Kang-dae said, but it became something bigger. A story about the power of staying, of choosing someone, even when they can't choose themselves. He looked at Noelle, his eyes full of everything he once couldn't feel. I was a ghost, empty, guilty, lost. But this woman, my wife, saw something in me I couldn't see. She fought for me. She stayed. And because of her, I'm standing here today. Alive, whole, loved. The audience was crying, standing ovation, thunderous applause. But Noelle only saw him, this man she had chosen, this man who had learned to love, this man who was proof that no one is beyond saving. Later that night, in their hotel room, Kang-dae made a confession. I need to tell you something. What? I never said it properly. Said what? He took her face in his hands, looked into her eyes. Thank you. For what? For walking into that basement. For not running. For choosing me when I was nothing. For making me everything. Noelle smiled, tears in her eyes. You were never nothing. You just forgot who you were. I just reminded you. You did more than that. You saved my life. And I will spend every day of the rest of it proving I was worth saving. He pulled her close, held her tight. And oh, Kang-dae, the man who couldn't love, loved more deeply than anyone she had ever known. Outside their window, Seoul glittered. The city where it all began. The city where a debt became destiny, where strangers became soulmates, where a ghost became a man. Noelle Sinclair had arrived in Seoul expecting to pay a price. She left with everything she never knew she needed. A purpose, a partner, a love that had survived the impossible, because she had done what no one else would. She had chosen the one they said couldn't love, and she had been right. He could love. He just needed someone brave enough to wait, and Noelle Sinclair was the bravest woman he had ever known. This has been Afro-Seoul Tale, where Africa meets Seoul, and every love story is unforgettable. If this story touched your heart, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and leave a comment telling me which moment hit you the hardest. Was it Kang-dae's confession, the confrontation with his mother, or something else? Thank you for watching. Thank you for feeling. Thank you for being here. New stories are coming. More drama, more romance, more love that crosses borders.